Hello, hello again, another Agakala Reacts, and today we're watching Poland's 9 billion mega airport. $9 billion from megabuilds. And I heard about the project for past few years. Obviously, I'm not hearing as much as I would if I'd be in Poland, because obviously I'm like, it's not that it's hard to get the information, but I'm just basically I'm not listening to the radio, I'm not watching the TV, and a lot of my information comes from English speaking websites and stuff. So yeah, so let's just learn what they're planning. I know there's supposed to be like a mega hub, not just airport, but just connection to the trains and buses as well, I believe. And let's just see. Here we go.
Poland is planning to build one of the largest transport hubs in all of Europe. This new huge mega airport will connect both high-speed trains and air travel, and has even attracted strong interest from NATO to secure its eastern flank. But there's a catch. Warsaw already has two airports, and plans to replace them have caused some controversy. The new government is also really not a fan of the project. So what are the reasons behind this mega project? Does Poland really need one of the biggest airports in Europe? Or is it just a publicity stunt? I'm Regis. Now let's dive deep and find out. Located 40 kilometers west of Warsaw, the Solidarity Transport Hub will integrate air, rail, and road transport with 2,000 kilometers of new high-speed railway lines, connecting the capital with major Polish cities and Rail Baltica. It aims to handle over 40 million passengers annually by 2035.
The designs are looking cool.
Of London Heathrow. It's Poland's shot at becoming a major transport hub for Central and Eastern Europe. But the airport as an idea is actually nothing new. The concept has been around since the 1970s. Since the year 2000, analyses, reports, and feasibility studies have been carried out at government level, which then came to the conclusion in 2010 that Warsaw needs a new airport. This is because Chopin Airport, Poland's largest to date, has nearly outgrown its capacity to meet current and future demands for air transport. The government can't really do much to prolong its life either. The airport was once built far away from the capital, but the city has grown around it, and there's really no room to expand. In 2019, this tired giant, in service since the 1930s, handled nearly 19 million passengers, while having a maximum capacity of 22 million annually. Given the ongoing post-pandemic traffic recovery, the airport is projected to reach its limit in the next 3 years. A new airport seems like the only remaining option. This is where the Solidarity Transport Hub, also known as the Central Communication Port or CPK, comes in with plans to handle 30 million passengers by 2028 and 40 million annually by 2035. But the CPK is much more than just an airport. It aims to become a key component of Poland's transport system, not only by air, but also by land. All major cities will be connected to the hub with travel times of no more than 2.5 hours via high-speed trains. This will involve developing 10 rail spokes radiating from the hub, along with 2 additional lines serving cities previously without any rail connection. Nearly 2,000 kilometers of new high-speed railway lines will have to be built for this, but once it's done, every place in Poland will be easy to reach. This is quite important in terms of international traffic as well. Take a high-speed train to Warsaw from Hungary, Czechia, or Slovakia, for example, arrive at the hub, and then fly anywhere, all in one place. But economic and infrastructure benefits aside, the CPK has something less obvious, but equally important to offer. Defense capabilities. One of the lessons learned from the war in Ukraine is that Poland needs a high-capacity airport capable of 24/7 operations, suitable for cargo, and connected to the railway and road networks. NATO representatives have already labeled the CPK as key to securing its eastern flank, which is why the hub has been planned as dual-use infrastructure, a civil airport in times of peace and a military installation that can be used by NATO support and rapid response forces in the event of war. The situation in Eastern Europe and the war in Ukraine specifically is actually one of the reasons why the project is still on the table in the first place. The CPK would extend the Baltic Black Aegean Sea Line and could also include a high-speed link between Warsaw and Ukraine. A connection like this could offer a country at war alternative routes and enhance NATO's eastern flank. But now let's take a look at the design of this proposed new airport. This mega project has actually attracted attention from some of the biggest names in the industry. Grimshaw, Chapman Taylor, Zaha Hadid Architects, Benoit, and Pascal and Watson all submitted their concepts for the project, each unique in its own way. The The Chapman-Taylor project for the terminal building featured a massive transparent dome symbolizing unity and reflecting Poland's national identity, with 6 floors, each representing distinct Polish landscapes. The design focused on functionality over grandiosity, and aimed to reduce transfer time and walking distances for passengers.
Cool design.
Zaha Hadid architects developed not 1, but 3 designs, focusing on integrating the airport with the railway station, as well as using lots of light and greenery. Ultimately, none of them won though. The one that clicked with the CPK's administration was crafted by renowned British architect Sir Norman Foster. The studio has already completed the full design concept as part of a €150 million contract. They're going for a traditional, yet futuristic design. The airport's terminal, railway station, and a public transport interchange will all be strategically located in close proximity to each other for the sake of convenience.
Obviously.
And they'll all merge together into one point, a large interchange plaza with lots of natural light. Drawing from the Campinos forest near Warsaw, the interior space will be heavily decorated with trees and greenery in order to reduce stress as well. And because the future moves quickly, designers have to think ahead, which is why the airport has been optimized to be modular. This allows the transportation hub to adapt to the ever-changing operational needs. The key-shaped main terminal will be built first, while the X-shaped one will be added at a later point, when there's actually a need for it. But to be honest, there's not much information available about the key-shaped main terminal, but plenty of renderings of the X-shaped terminal. So maybe they've changed their plan again and want to build the X-shaped terminal first. Nonetheless, both terminals will be interconnected, potentially through a shuttle train system. There's even a plan for a vertiport, where unmanned aerial vehicles will be operated from the airport in the future. Well, if there is a future for this airport, that is.
Yeah.
On October 15th of last year, Poland held its general elections, and the Law and Justice Party, which started CPK, won the most seats, but couldn't form its own government. Instead, the Civic Coalition came to power, and it's not exactly a fan of this mega project. Made up of several opposing parties, the new government has stated that the CPK needs to be reviewed, and that it might not be needed at all. As part of the changes in governance, in January, CPK's CEO was let go from his position, and the new government appointed its own commissioner. With that, the supervisory board was also changed. The new commissioner then announced an audit on all activities and objectives, and how they're to be achieved. The review would also cover the financing, commitments, and contracts the company had entered into, as well as its structures and management. There have also been suggestions that there are ways to improve the existing airports, and that this should be a priority over the construction of a new one. With all this back and forth, it's now unlikely that the CPK will see the light of day in 2028, as originally planned. At the same time, large-scale geological surveys have already been given the green light. CPK has already acquired land the size of Heathrow Airport, and the demolition of properties and relocation of the residents who have voluntarily sold their properties has been underway for months. By all estimations, canceling CPK now would be a major blow to Poland in more ways than one. But if the project continues, Central and Eastern Europe might benefit massively from one of its first real mega projects. So, what do you think of CPK? Does Poland actually need to build one of Europe's biggest airports? And will it actually be built at all? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Mega Builds, and
Millie,
as always,
say hi.
thank you for watching.
Say hi,
We'll
Millie.
see you in the next video.
Millie. Okay, so what do I think about the CPK? I don't know what to think about it, because honestly, the fact is that the Law and Order Party, since the election happened, that was published in April, so we are in June. Since the election happened, it came out to light that they did kind of abuse their power, and they put a lot of people without a lot of experience and actual qualifications into positions that they shouldn't be on. So we're just gonna have to wait for it now. The old designs are kind of cool and all that. The idea, I think it's nice, but the thing is as well, it's not only Warsaw that have airports. There's another city called Łódź that's not far from it as well. And I think what they should do is currently maybe focus on upgrading the existing airports and definitely upgrading the train network in Poland. And maybe then think about the actual central hub. But I'm not, you know, it's just like they probably would bring a lot. It could be something that if the NATO is interested in it, that might kind of sway. They're probably just gonna do the audit, check everything, if everything was legally done and properly done, and then we'll see. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.